Hiya, welcome back. We're on part 3 now of the Ableton tutorial. Last time we took a look at filters and just general mixing techniques, etc. This time we're going to mix in some raw style, some hardcore, and I'm going to show you BPM changes. Alright, so first things first, let's drag in a raw track. What's this? Wonder who could have made this. Yeah, and also, no, this is from my EP as well. I'll put a link in the description. Just go and check it out. This is my favorite track off the EP, actually. Right, so same as always. Set 111, warp straight. This one's actually 155, so we'll put in 155. Select Complex Pro. Okay, and I think this is quite loud, so let's quickly check for clipping. No, it's not actually that loud. My mastering isn't great. So you can see there. That should be fine. One thing, this last track has like a triplet 3/4 sort of timing. This one, straight up 4/4. 4 to the floor. So how are we going to make that sound good? Right, so basically we want to find a part in the outgoing track, Are You Ready? Which doesn't really have many of those triplet elements. This is not always possible, actually. And sometimes you have to use tracks that start off in one of the time signatures and go into the other one. But for now, we'll just make do with what we have. So let's see what we can find. Well, that bit's no good. It's got like a triplet melody. So. Yeah, that bit's spot on. It does have some little triplet elements, but you know, they're not actually that noticeable. So what we'll do, put the intro of that over that sort of really hard kick outro. I love that kick, actually. Love to see how he made that. But anyway. All right, let's take the bass out on my track, the incoming one. So EQ3, gain low. We've done it 1,000 times. You know how to do it. Bring it all the way down. Alright, so one thing you might have noticed, the mastering on A-Lusion's track is far superior to mine. It's much louder. It's kind of hiding the elements in mine. So how are we going to get around that? Well, there's not a lot we can do, but like I showed you before, you can sort of highlight certain elements. So as we did in the first bit, you see where it goes quiet here in the A-Lusion track? I'm going to make it go loud in mine. So 2 points there on gain low. Bring it up to 0. We're going to make the bass come through. See how that sounds. Bring it back down for the before the second bit of the outro comes in. Otherwise, we'll have horrible clashing. That sounds good. I want to highlight it even more though, so we'll bring down the volume a little bit on the A-Lusion track. So select mixer, standard volume automation. We'll take it from here, bring it down to like -2, otherwise it'll be too noticeable. Then we'll crank it back up. Now what this is doing, it's like I said, just highlighting that little bit in my track. We'll do the same here. So bring it up after the kick there. Bring the bass up to 0. So there we go. And where do we want to drop it? We don't want to drop it at all. So because that's the end of the intro. So what we'll do, we will take the bass out here. Gradually, I think. We start getting like the FX kicks in there, which have quite a lot of low end. So take it out. Boom. Let's have a listen. And like we did previously, take that out. So sorry if I'm going too fast on the mix bits of this. This is stuff we've covered in earlier tutorials, so I'm trying to get through it quickly. If you just go and watch part 1, we covered all of this basically. That sounds good. I think the beats are a little bit off though. They shouldn't be. Oh, that's weird. All right, so we'll bring this in a little bit slowly. Oops. Nope, nope, nope. Bring that back up. We didn't want to take down the entire volume. Okay, and there we go. That's sounding really good. So I think we want one more track in after this, and it's going to be a hardcore track. So right click down here, insert audio track, or you can just press Control-T. And we want to put the EQ3 on it since we don't have it. So go over to your effects again, drag the EQ3. Boom, there we go. And we've got another channel there. But before we go into hardcore, I've noticed one thing. This track, it just doesn't sound right to me at 150. We want to get it up to 155, the raw style tempo, generally. So, how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to do it with a BPM automation. So, what you do, click down here on Master. We've got song tempo there. So we want to put in the minimum value. In this case, it's 150 because the slowest the mix is going to be going is 150. It's going to start at 150. 155 is what we've got at the moment. So we'll just put that in. Ooh, not 1555. Okay, so now we need to figure out a good point to bring the tempo up. All right, so build-ups generally are usually a good place to do it. Like, remember before when I was talking about bringing the volume up? I think this was in part 2. Yeah, bringing the volume up as a melodic element comes in. It's sort of the same principle. You're following what the track is doing. So if it's building, 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 you want to build that tempo at the same time, and it will sound like that was how it was meant to be all along. But evidently, it wasn't. So what we'll do, start here, where the snare roll starts going. And we want it to be at its max tempo before the main beat comes in, so. Let's have a listen to that. Okay, so there's another way you can do it as well, which I was thinking about doing, but for the sake of time we won't. And that would be to gradually increase the BPM with every track. And you do it in roughly the same way. So increase it by 1 BPM on a build up. Or you can do it in a really silent part just before something else kicks in, basically. Never do it in the middle of like a phrase or something, because it'll just sound completely jarring. It has to be sort of musical, if you know what I mean. Right, so I think what we're going to do as well now, we're going to go into hardcore. So let's put one in. There we go. Hero's Vengeance by Ranzor. Hugely underrated track. I might actually link to that in the description as well, because it's a brilliant track. I think it's from a couple of years ago. But well worth a listen. Great hardcore track. Anyway, let's do the thing. Here we go. First beat, 1-1 here. Or from here straight. This is 170, so put 170 in. Select Complex Pro. Alright, and let's check for clipping. That's good, apart from the fact it's playing at 155, which we don't want. So what we're going to do now as well, we're going to go back down here on the master and the song tempo. We're going to change the maximum from 155 to 170, and then you can see, here we go, it's changed everything else along the way. Right, so when I go into hardcore, usually, I'll do basically what we just did. We'll do the BPM change on a build-up, and then I like to have the kick hit immediately on the, say, the outro of the outgoing track. So it sort of becomes hardcore rather than mix, rather than have like Hardstyle playing at 170. It doesn't really work. So let's find where the kick comes in this track.
This isn't over.
Nice guess. Yeah, that's sort of just like a filtered kick. We don't want that. So in this case, what we're going to do, we're going to find the outro, or where the mid-outro kicks in on my track. Okay, cool. Right, where was the kick in this one? I think it's there. You'll have to excuse that horrible sonic mess there. Let's get the BPM correct as well, because it doesn't sound right now. Shall we actually do it from there this time? See how that sounds. So, again, click. Ooh, it's gone off, so bring it back up to 155. Then just before the beat comes in, boom, all the way to 170. Let's have a listen to that. We want to take the bass out on the raw track. So before the beat comes in on the hardcore. Alright, that we could fade out there, but I'm going to quickly check the end of my track. I actually can't remember how it ends, to see if we can do that trick that I showed you in part 1 with the end part. Let's have a listen. Yeah, you know what? That probably sounds better than fading it out. So let's grab that. Okay, and paste that in there. Much more natural. Yeah, that sounds pretty good to me. So a quick another listen to that BPM transition now, just to make sure. You know what, I don't like that. I think what we need to do is move it to where the snare comes in, so we'll put it there actually. 155. There we go. So listen now. Yeah, that sounds way better, way better. See what I mean about the importance of the build-ups? When that snare comes in, it brings the energy up. You bring the tempo up, brings the energy up even more. You go into the hardcore. Perfect. Good double drop. Double drop? Double drop. Anyway, now let's mess around with this here. So we cut the track a little bit before, just while we were changing the tempo. But we want to build it in gradually, like we normally do. Alright, so it doesn't sound great, it doesn't sound amazingly bad. Let's just put a volume automation on it. We'll go all the way from -15, because this is a quiet part in my track, so you should actually be able to hear it while it's that low. Let's have a go. And you can indeed. That sounds decent, not amazing. That's just, again, because these tracks don't go together perfectly. One thing I don't like, though, is we have vocals playing over each other. So let's listen to that. I want the fuck 'em all vocals, not the one from Ranzor's track. Sorry, Ranzor. So we'll cut those out, as we did earlier. This is kind of just reusing stuff I've already shown you, but hopefully it makes it sink in. You will be using a ton of the same techniques, but with everything in music really, but this is no exception. So there we go, we've cut that out perfectly. No volume there on there, his little vocal bit, so let's give that a listen. Yeah. Yeah, cool. And that is that mix complete. Do we want to save it? Yeah. So yeah, I didn't save this the entire tutorial, but it is generally a good idea to save your mixes. Ableton has been known to be a little bit temperamental, so save regularly. There we go. I might upload this mix. I might not. Who knows? thank you very much for joining me. I hope you learned something from this. If you'd like to see me do more of these, not just Ableton, I can show you some stuff in FL. Oh, I'm not the greatest producer. I've got a few tricks up my sleeve that you might not know. Any more DJing tips? Happy to help. Live DJing, Ableton DJing, whatever you like. I know lots about it. It's something I've been doing for a very long time. So happy to share the knowledge. And yeah, please subscribe to the channel. And if you, for some reason, didn't watch the previous parts of this, go and watch them. Right, take care. Bye-bye.